I kind of wanted to, it just came back about mindset, going back to that topic.
Yeah.
What I feel like mindset is a typical thing that say like you got to have the right mindset. Like but how do you think people start developing the right mindset?
Oh, that's such a good question. Okay, how do people... Well, so when I hear that, I think maybe positive mindset. And positive does not mean that you just sugarcoat your life when you're not there, but continuously doing one better. And I think immediate access to that. Oh, mindset. Okay, different ways. First of all, the thoughts that you're feeding yourself. What are you listening to? Who are you listening to? And do you feel like you're bigger self with it, or does it make you feel good? Because I think our internal compass, which I refer to, or our gut, will know. It knows, it senses right away if you feel elevated and energized or if you feel low from it. Like gossip might be exciting, but you might find yourself trapped in it and feeling not like your bigger self.
Yeah.
So I think first, like I started years ago, I remember I started listening to Deepak Chopra. I realized I'm listening to so much, like, there's amazing rap out there, but there's also a lot of ignorant stuff. And I was like, for all the ignorant stuff I'm hearing about hoeing and glorifying money and drugs, let me listen to some Deepak Chopra. And that started shifting my mindset because his words and his thoughts and his energy were elevated.
Yeah.
And then I believe in do programs. Like you've done MITT, I've done Landmark, but it could be meditating. But finding something that gives you access to your own roadblocks and lets you have breakthroughs in your life. And not, is it okay that this is a long-winded answer?
Yeah, go for it, yeah. It's
and
all you.
I was talking about it with a friend yesterday about how self-help books, or I like to call it self-development, there can be something icky about it. And I think it's when it becomes about like the self-help and the self-development versus actually taking your lessons and applying them into your own life. And so access for that is when things are not working out, taking a moment, sitting back, and that gives you access to something that doesn't work in your life, whether it's your way of being, whether it's the people you have. So far we have who and what you're listening to, self-development programs. I like them better than, I think they're more in-depth than a book, but a book can do it, or meditation, finding what clicks with you. And then having a daily dose of it, a weekly dose of it. Mindset, it's who you surround yourself with. It doesn't mean throw your friends in the gutter. It just means like start paying attention to who feels elevated to you. Who do you get to be bigger self with? Does bigger self make sense, you think, to people who haven't done what's that like?
I think bigger self makes sense. Like there's the more like closer to your higher potential.
Yes, closer to your higher potential. And not being I'm not trying to be self-righteous about it or anything. Because I know that sometimes, like we've done programs, sometimes there are words that will be used within the programs, but when you use them outside, it can sound jargony. Yeah,
because one thing that we definitely learn in the programs is words are very powerful, especially how you use them with others and with yourself.
Yeah.
It can really help with how you view certain things. And one thing I really liked that you said was, like your higher potential. There's something I remember I loved saying before was called the integrity gap. There's your higher potential, what you can actually do, and what you end up doing for real. You have the potential to help someone. You have the potential to, start that business, eat a healthier meal. But then there's what you actually do, and then in that is the integrity gap, because which leaves space for you to feel icky, sad, depressed, or upset at yourself. So when we perform at our higher potential and make that choice aligned with it, we kind of level ourselves up.
Yeah.
If that's making sense.
Yeah, I think like one of the first words that made a difference for me, it's when I started doing yoga, and it was within the branding of the studio. They had, I think, excellence in there. And so when I didn't want to wake up in the morning, this word in my head, excellence, would pop in, and then I would get out of bed because I wanted to be excellent. And I have times when I feel motivated. I have the mindset of wanting to, like, where I could just scratch everything off the slate right now and start over and do better in a big way. And there are times more often where it's about the baby steps. Let me just do slightly better than I normally would, because over time it adds up. Yeah,
I love that, because people think they have to do something grand to make the progress, but it's like the famous journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Yes.
And I like saying a lot, progress is progress no matter how small. 1 out of 1,000 is better than 0 out of 0.
And then getting really specific, my own mindset, I think, because this is super like the conversations I have with myself, is am I on my purpose? Am I in my journey? And I use what's not working, because trust, especially if you're going out of your comfort zone, things will not work. If you're operating at a new level, things will not work, because your life is designed and you are operating on the way of exactly how things have been going, which is not bad. But when all of a sudden, you know, if you go to a different country, you have new climate, you have like, you need to expand into the new space. So you're going to notice if all of a sudden you go to warm weather, from warm weather to cold weather, you learn the importance of wearing a coat, or, you know, preparing for having an umbrella, you know. So I constantly am thinking, am I doing my best? My access to everything is, how do I feel? I started making things more about, because I think like the macro, the out there, the am I in my purpose, which I just said, am I contributing to people? Could I be better? Could I do better? But then also I go back to how I feel, because if I feel crappy, like, yes, granted, things will happen like before, you know, there's something with a client, I'm like, But if I feel icky, that's my experience of life. So I then, my health and wellness, sometimes physical practices, like I know now when I need more sleep. Sometimes like I'll be really upset and stuff, and I have to just ask myself, did I eat enough? Did I sleep enough? Yeah,
you just reminded me of something, because I shared recently on Instagram something I learned from anger management is HALT. Never deal with serious things, or never get into a serious conversation if you're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. So and it's like, it's the, like, if pretty much if your basic needs aren't met, because I remember reading from the Daily Stoic, it doesn't matter how wise you are or how smart you are, if your basic needs aren't met, you're not going to perform at your highest level. You're going to be hangry, you're going to be triggered, you're going to be a little bit more emotional in responding in reacting instead of responding.